What's up, everybody, and welcome to Shapes of Gaming, the weekly conversational podcast all about video games that's unedited, unfiltered, and unhinged. I'm one of your hosts, Matt Stinson, Neocharge on PSN, and joining me, as always, right beside me, actually, for episode number 6 is the retro gaming encyclopedia himself, Bob Harriman, Lion Hartley on PSN. What's up, man?
Plenty of beer in my system, and just off of that state of play we got going on, we're recording literally 15 minutes after the state of play that happened here on June 4th, and let's just say the adrenaline is pumping, and I'm feeling like a foretelling god on my drafts this year. How you doing today?
Dude, you called a lot of that shit. And for the record, we are sharing a mic right now. So if there's like a little gap in us talking, it's because we're like literally swinging the mic back and forth because Bob is over at my place. We watched the state of play in person. We are fresh off of it, literally 15 minutes. So it's a little bit of a different way of recording. So we'll see how it sounds. But of course, it's always coming to you unedited, unfiltered, really unfiltered now because you're literally right beside me. But yeah, dude, that state of play was awesome. I loved it. And we have a lot to go through because Summer Game Fest is upon us. It basically kicked off with this state of play. And there's been a lot announced. So we have a main topic we want to get into, but if we can't get to it, it's just going to be mainly news. So we're going to tell you a lot of stuff that was announced. That state of play had a lot of bangers. And yeah, we still have our drinks here. So, and I have a little surprise for Bob. What are you drinking now, though, Bob?
Oh, I am drinking. This is a last call, so to speak. My favorite brew from a local brewer here in Colorado Springs. Shout out to Metric Brewing. They're not going away, but they're going to come back. It's just a matter of how long it's going to take. But they make a hazelnut brown that is called Dad Belt. And I'm telling you, folks, this thing is like if you took a jar of Nutella and mixed it with a beer, had a baby. It is smooth. It is rich. And it's almost 6%, so it's not a weakling either. It feels good. It feels good in my body. And the question is, what's the surprise that you got for me here?
So I can attest to that. I tried it. It's amazing. I've tried it on tap, and he got a crowler of it. So we're drinking it here. First off, I want to get into mine. I got Fruit by the Ounce Sour Ale. Still going with the sour. Still going with the theme. This is from WeldWorks, another one of my favorite breweries, and I'm drinking another one of theirs. This is a fruit by the foot tasting sour. You got the fruit punch syrup, the coconut cream, marshmallows, and passion fruit puree. That just sounds like a fucking party in your mouth, Bob.
That sounds almost like too much for me. All right, so if this is the surprise here. Oh, he's got something else for me. Okay, all right, we'll get to that. But absolutely, man. Hey, so the question is, since we got beer on the mind, we always talk about what's going on in this life. I know we got a lot to cover this week. So if you're okay with it, without further ado, let's go ahead and just fucking dive right into this, man. How's life been going for you? I know you got a lot going on.
It's been good, actually. I just got back from a long trip. I was in Vegas, actually, for an event. And Vegas is interesting. I've been there 3 times, and I was there before COVID, and then I visited after COVID. We stayed at Mandalay Bay. We walked through all the hotels, Excalibur, the Luxor. Vegas is fucking expensive, but I did have one highlight, and I went to the Sphere, Bob, and the Sphere is this. It has a screen that's 4 acres big. Okay. You heard that right, folks. 4 acres big. And I saw something called Postcard Earth, one of the best, immersive, coolest entertainment experiences I've ever had. And the tickets were not cheap. I'll just tell you because it's kind of going into what I wanted to just lightly touch on. The tickets were $150. And this film, keep in mind the screen is 4 acres big and it's a sphere, right? So it's not like right in front of you. It's all around you. They pump smells in there. So they have like you're going through like a orange orchard and you have like the smell of orange. It's like I don't know. They rumble your seat and everything. $150 for an hour and a half, and I'm like, man, these games. We spend what do we just spend on Clair Obscur? We spent like 60 hours in Clair Obscur. It's a $50 game. 60-ish hours. A $50 game. Even these games that are like 70, $80, man, I think games have a lot of value to them. I know people don't want to hear this, and I know people have different financial situations, of course, but I think gaming is still the best value entertainment money can buy. What do you think?
No, that's absolutely correct. Like you said, everybody's financial situations are different. So please, if you've got that extra money and you can do that fun stuff, don't let life pass you by. That's my biggest piece of advice I can give to anybody that's out there and listening right now. But I'll tell you this much, Matt. Um, you're right. Gaming is the best bang for your buck, and I'll tell you exactly why. So it's the start of summer here. You know, kids are coming out of school, and as any parent out there knows, particularly since I've got three of them. Oh, by the way, they're all teenagers. One of the oldest being 19. I'll tell you right now. You know what's the worst part about summer break, Matt? Is feeding them little goblins. I love them to death. Please understand, folks. I love my children. I would do anything for them. Okay, and we'll get into some of those themes later on the what we're playing. But I'll tell you this much: we decided to do a reset. And what I mean by a reset is you go into the kitchen, you pull all of that stuff that's been sitting in the freezer and in the fridge, in the pantry, and you just go, you know what? This isn't going to be used for a meal. Nobody's going to eat this. Or if we do, it's going to be in 6 months. It doesn't matter. It's $1 worth of, I don't know, tomato soup, right? We can toss that. 3 bags of garbage later, and we go to the grocery store and we say, hey, have free reign. My mistake was giving the shopping cart to my wife and my oldest kid and then losing track of both of them because I got distracted by something. Hello, ADHD. Do you know how much I spent there at that grocery store when I walked out? Almost $600, folks. Yes, you heard that right. And this is not a complaint, because I went home and I do not have to worry about hearing, Dad, there's nothing to eat. I don't have stuff. You know what? They have everything they need and can get through for probably been a good month or so. But yeah, that's why when I look at games and I look at games like what we're going to talk about later, Clair Obscur, $50, it's good 60 hours if you really want to dive into it. And if you don't, the backlog of games that you can get on PlayStation Plus are amazing. Let's say you don't like single player games. What if you like multiplayer? I will give you a hot hint. Days of Play is going on right now. Go check out Risk of Rain 2. It is 75% off. It is $6. And I guarantee you will get an entire summer's worth of hours of entertainment, man. That's why games are the premium when it comes to this. But spend your money as you like.
For sure, for sure. And everyone has their own financial situation. I totally get it. But, you know, I went and saw Mission Impossible Final Reckoning recently. That was like a $20 ticket for about 2.5 hours. So I don't know. Games have an incredible value depending on how much you spend with them. So how much time you spend with them and how much it impacts you. Just wanted to bring that up. Vegas is expensive. Don't go. If you do happen to be there, definitely go catch a show at the Sphere. It's got like an outside display too. It's crazy. So yeah, and every time I fly, the track I put on is the High Wind Takes to the Skies from Final Fantasy VII. And man, every time I do that, and recently when I've been doing that, because I fly often, I'd say, recently when I do that, I was like, dude, I can't wait for the next Final Fantasy VII whatever, the third entry, when the High Wind does actually take to the skies, and hopefully they let you revisit everything just like they did in the original 7. Man, every time that gets me. I tear up every time I cry because I throw that on, and it's one of the best tracks. If you haven't heard it, what are you doing with your life, first of all? And go check it out. It's called High Wind Takes to the Skies. But yeah, dude, $600 fucking. Jesus. Please tell me you went to Costco at least.
No, folks, this was all on a King Super strip. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, trust me, Costco's coming. But well, let's get to next payday for that one.
Yeah. Damn, man. That's crazy, but it's good. Ironically, we just did that too. We went through all of our food and threw out the old stuff. Like, do that every once in a while, folks. Like, you got old, expired shit in your fridge. Go through that shit and don't eat it. It'll probably make you sick, or do it. It'll build your immune system. We don't give health advice here on Shapes of Gaming. But yeah, go through your fridge, get rid of the old shit. It's good to do. It's called some spring cleaning because we're not in summer yet. We're still in spring. Anyway, got some housekeeping, got some corrections. I said that I was bummed that you lose your PlayStation Stars collectibles. That's not the case. Their data is somehow going to you'll be able to download it and you'll be able to have those collectibles somehow. Here's my thinking. I think they're just going to keep the app alive that you can go and view your collectibles. It might not be public to anyone, so that kind of sucks. But you can still view your own collectibles. And I have a theory, Bob. I think the PlayStation Stars stuff was fucking with their metrics because the way the missions kind of happened is you had to launch a game. And I think people were just downloading the game, launching it, and then deleting it. And it was fucking with their metrics. So I think they kind of stopped that. What do you think? Why do you think they stopped it?
I got a couple of different reasons. I think that's probably a good one. I also think it was poorly executed. It wasn't advertised well. I didn't even know about PlayStation Stars, quite frankly, Matt, until you told me about it. I was like, wait, what the hell's PlayStation Stars? And then I saw I had all of these points that were in there. You can only get it through the PS app. So it's not integrated with the dashboard. You don't get there's nothing there that says, hey, cross media bar, you have PlayStation Stars. It just shows you whatever you have in your game library. So unless you know about it, there's no real reason to use it. Or you wouldn't even use it at all. And I think the engagement numbers were so low. Sony looked at it and said, yeah, why is there even a reason to support this? So I think I have my theory. I think PlayStation Stars is going to come back, but I think they're going to do it in a smarter way, and they're going to go ahead and make it more user and customer friendly. Integrate it well with the cross media bar, integrate it with the PlayStation Store more natively onto the PlayStation app. Unfortunately, my theory also believes that this might not happen until the PlayStation 6 era, which makes me cry a little inside. But I would rather take that because the only other option we have with the reward programs, correction, I'm sorry, I don't know much about the Xbox side, but the only other place I have access to is the Nintendo rewards program, which just got shot in the foot as well. So poor one out for the PlayStation Stars program, but I think it was just low engagement. And to keep that stuff updated and to keep things going, you have to pay somebody to come up with ideas and everything else. I think it was a sinkhole of money for Sony, and they cut ties.
Yeah, I can see that. That's a good point. RIP PlayStation Stars. I used it for a little bit. It was cool. It was just all digital collectibles. I mean, you could get real money and buy real games. And I did that. And it replaced the Sony rewards or the PlayStation rewards. So yeah, it was just a little like extra thing. If you were already launching these games already, and you might as well get a little reward for it. But oh well, you'll be able to keep your digital collectibles and you'll be able to access them. The second and final correction is Dispatch is not made by Telltale because Telltale's gone. I said it was made by Telltale Games. I think you said, oh, Telltale's still around. And I was like, yeah, I think. It's not. It is the same devs, though. So the same devs left Telltale when they went down and created a studio called Ad Hoc Studio. And that is the studio that's creating Dispatch. So rip Telltale. And they had a lot of great games. I loved Wolf Among Us. I would love to see Wolf Among Us too. Tales from the Borderlands was great. They had a Batman one. They had a Guardians of the Galaxy one. All the Tales games were great. So Telltale Games, rip. Man, do we have some fucking news? We have so much news. And we're going to get all into it. Like we said, we literally just got off the heels of the state of play. Like 15 minutes from the state of play, we started recording, and we are hyped at what was announced. We can go into that state of play stuff, but we do have some Summer Game Fest stuff that was announced. So we're going to kind of save the state of play for potentially the main topic if it takes so long. But we also do have a main topic we might get into, or we might save it for another podcast episode. Who knows? We're flexible here at Shapes of Gaming. You know, we just kind of wing it sometimes, and we are literally recording. You're right beside me. I can literally touch you. What's up?
Yeah, Days of Play. So for anybody that's not in the know on this, this is kind of like a if you're a PC gamer, this is like I'm sorry, you wanted to do State of Play, right? Days of Play. All right, sorry. The beer's kicking in, folks. But this is kind of like the spring summer sale from Sony. They do this for the last couple of years. So you can see all of this. Go to Sony's website if you want. You can take a look on just fire up your PlayStation if you want. Go ahead and there'll be a little dashboard icon that'll tell you about the Days of Play. If you go to the PlayStation Store, you can get all kinds of cool deals. They discount a lot of good games here, working with their partners to get that done. But most notoriously, or most notably in my case, because there's a lot of the games I looked through, there's nothing there that's either A for me or stuff that I already have. So there's not much. That's where I saw the Risk of Rain too. I already own Risk of Rain, but I saw it and I was like, you know what? Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Especially since my oldest is playing it right now with some friends. But most notably for and the you'll get into, I'll let you get into this, Matt, is Xbox Xbox Gaming decided to up the prices on their consoles. And we're not talking by an insignificant amount. We're talking upwards of $100 on some of these bad boys. Meanwhile, Sony, with all of their quote unquote big dick energy, said, hey, Days of Play is coming up. Why don't we go ahead and discount all of our hardware? Not all of it. There's one piece of hardware, sadly, that is not discounted, and that's the Portal. But if you want to you could get right now for the Days of Play, there's the Call of Duty Black Ops 6 PS5 bundle. So you're going to get your PS5 with the disc version, by the way, which is more expensive. Comes with Call of Duty, if that's the kind of thing that you're into. $450, $449.99. Guess what, folks? That is the same price of a Switch 2 base. You are not going to find a better deal. So Sony comes out not only, and we'll talk about it later with their state of play. They give us the Days of Play, undercutting prices despite all of what's going on with the political turmoil and the tariffs and everything else. We're never going to touch. We'll avoid that stuff here. But then they go ahead and, while competitors are increasing prices, they undercut them. I think Sony is setting themselves up to go ahead and dominate this generation. We can talk about this later if we have time. If not, we'll do it on another episode. But I think this is them looking at Nintendo and saying, hey, Nintendo, you're going to get your day in the sun and you're going to get your pre-orders on the Switch too. But we are going to be the ones standing at the top of the mountain when everything comes down. And watch us. We're going to show you how to do it. What you think, man?
Yeah, dude. The fact that they announced a state of play a day before the Switch release and the day literally of the Switch release is crazy. They whip their dick out and they're just like, whatever. And you can actually get a PlayStation 5 now, the PlayStation 5 Slim, with the Call of Duty bundle for $400. That's cheaper than the Nintendo Switch 2. And that's cheaper than the Xbox Series X. And the PlayStation 5 is, let's be honest, a technologically superior console to both of those. I mean, the Switch 2 Switch 2 we're very excited for, is on the level of a PS4 Pro, which we're very excited for, because guess what? Right after this episode, we're literally going to go get our Switch 2s and we're going to get in line at Best Buy because we did the pre-order. We did the little pre-order party we had. And guess what? If you were part of that, awesome. You got a Switch 2. If you weren't, everyone in that pre-order party we had for Shapes of Gaming on the Shapes of Gaming Discord, they got a pre-order. Every single one. We were on it. We were like headphones, we had the Discord going, and every single person got it. So we both got ours at Best Buy. But it's crazy. They lowered the price to $400 for the slim Call of Duty bundle. They lowered the price. You also can save $50 on the PS5 Pro if you are into the resolution frame rate, which we are. We both have pros. So yeah, it's really crazy that they did this in the midst of all the tariffs and everything like that. So yeah, Days of Play went live on May 28th, and it ends at June 11th. So plenty of times to get games. There a ton of games are on sale. There's hardware sales, and they do this every summer. So it's really cool. And it's good to see, and I can't believe they discounted hardware. So yeah, that's the Days of Play. That was announced a few days ago, but we're recording Wednesday. This is going live Thursday, and yeah, go check out all the deals and the sales. Let's see, Summer Game Fest. We are right in it. We're in Summer Game Fest. The State of Play kicked it off. We got events tomorrow. We got a lot of events Friday. If you want to know when all these events are happening, you can actually go to summergamefest.com, and there's right on the splash page, there's a blue add to calendar button. This will add all the events to your calendar, and it'll actually be a subscription thing, not paid. It's just a calendar subscription that dynamically updates. And I did this like 3 years ago, and it's still dynamically updating. It's the same URL. So if you want to know when all these events are, you can either go to summergamefest.com, and on the splash page, you can click that blue button and it'll put those events in your calendar app of your choice. I use the calendar app on Mac, and it's great. I have all the events there, and it shows you what time they are in your time zone. So it's cool. It's just a little ICS file that you can import, dynamically updated. It's awesome. So do you are you subscribed to this calendar, Bob?
I am not as of right now. I know that's going to sound really bad, simply because I've got you, I've got everybody else in the community, but at the most importantly, I've got the website. So I can go to the website and say, hey, when is XYZ happening? I'll get those updates automatically. But I will tell you, I removed it now. But when I was first getting ready to hear about Summer Games Fest, I marked this out on my work calendar, and immediately put out of office because I knew I was taking PTO. It wasn't a request. It was one of those, this is going to happen situations. But I'm not request to it. But the fact that it's an ICS tells me everything I need to know, import it, make it look good. If you're one of those kinds of individuals. So yeah, absolutely. Let's see what else we got on the docket. I think we can skip that PS5 being cheaper. Well, you know what? We'll touch that. PS5, we'll skip that. We talked about that on the Summer Days of Play. The long story short, and then cliff notes on that is you can get a PS5 cheaper than an Xbox Series X and the Switch. Go take a look now. Please take advantage of it, especially if you're money conscious or you're on the fence. This is probably the best time to strike because it's not going to go down from here.
Dude, if you don't have a PlayStation, the amount of games that are there and available to play, the PS4 alone has some of the best games of the generation. I'm a little biased, I'm not going to lie, but I mean, they're usually nominated for Game of the Year awards, and a lot of people like them. I mean, you got Uncharted, you got Horizon, you got Ghost of Tsushima, you got the God of War games, you got Bloodborne. The list goes on. And if you can get, if you're not into the PlayStation ecosystem, it's a really good time to get in. I'd say I mean, if you get a PlayStation, you're going to have a crazy backlog, but man, these games are so special and so amazing, and the quality and care that these first party developers put into their games is just second to none. Nintendo first party is pretty damn good too. They aren't no slouches, right? But man, the PS5 is on sale. Go grab one if you don't have one. And even if you have a PS4 and you want to upgrade to the PS5, so many good PS5 games. Ratchet and Clank, Returnal, Demon's Souls, Spider-Man 2, God of War Ragnarok. I can literally list them all. But if you don't have one, go grab it. It's on sale. What do you think?
I think you're absolutely right. So you talk about first party and you talk about care, especially with older games. Um, I think it's most importantly to talk about the next list on our item here. I'm taking this one because this is what I picked up in a draft, our draft this year, and we knew it was coming. And that's Dragon Quest One and Two HD remake. Finally got a release date, October 29th, which is a little crowded and it's starting to stack up. But if you haven't seen, so first off, let me say, if you don't understand what this remake is, HD 2D is this really good high fidelity, pops very clear on a screen, on an OLED, particularly if you have it. If you've seen like footage of Octopath Traveler, things of that nature, this is a 2D game but in a pseudo 3D style, but it blends together really well. It's like pixel art but on crack. It's gorgeous. Definitely go take a look at it. The third one came out this last year. The third one is actually technically the start of the storyline, so this makes sense when you look at it. Number three is the start of what they call the Urgent trilogy. Dragon Quest is notorious for using threes with all of their stories. So one, two, and three are a trilogy, but the third one is a prequel to the first and second. I will say I'm extremely excited for this, but mostly because I'm a classic JRPG, turn-based combat kind of gamer. These are Dragon Quest One can be beaten probably within, I'd say, on the average about 10 to 15 hours. So you could do it on a weekend of gaming if you want. The second one will take a little bit longer. Third and fourth is when it really just balloons up with multiple party members and everything else. Most notoriously, I would like to put this out there for anybody: is if you are only somewhat interested in turn-based RPGs and you are not like really into them, you may want to go ahead. I may want to caution you and say play number three, which came out last year. Play that first. If it's not for you, get off the highway. It's okay. I get it. If you like it, get ready. One and two are very simple. They're very basic, but they are pretty difficult because these are the beginnings. If you don't understand, people equate what came to what was known as JRPGs over to the West. They equate it to what Final Fantasy did, particularly if you look at the 3D era. But when you had the 2D, the 16, and the 8-bit era, Dragon Quest dominated up until about number five. PlayStation Final Fantasy V is when it really took off, which I don't blame them. Final Fantasy IV is probably one of the better ones, but the point is, these are the progenitors of what we would call JRPGs or turn-based RPGs. There are others, there are more peripheral stuff, but these are the ones that made it mainstream. And to see these finally come back to the West in an updated format, which we've had access to, makes my heart giggle because I'm going to spend a weekend. I'm going to knock out number one, and then I'll eventually go knock out number two, and then I'm going to sit back and I'm going to enjoy it. Are these for you, man?
Uh Maybe. So I was a big fan of Dragon Quest 11, and I got into three, and I gotta say it's really, really tough. Like, I'm pretty good at games, but this one is interesting. I might revisit it, but I don't know. Maybe I'll get these and I'll have them in my collection to play whenever I want. But I got to revisit three. I got like 5% into three, and I couldn't beat the first boss. It was crazy. They're tough. They are hardcore turn-based JRPGs. I love that. I love those type of games. But yeah, they might not be for me. I'm a big Final Fantasy guy. I like the Final Fantasy games, but even the older Final Fantasies are a little challenging. There's a lot of quality of life stuff that has come out in the past, I don't know, decade that changes a lot for gaming. But I bet you're excited for these. They're coming out October 29th, 2025. They got a release date. That was actually one of your predictions for the Summer Game Fest, and that got announced in between episode 5 and 6. So we're saying that. Dude, a lot of Nintendo news has been coming out because guess what? Nintendo's releasing a new console, and the Nintendo Today app has been hopping. I have been really enjoying these videos. And one of my favorite games on the Switch, it runs like dog shit and it looks like trash. It's really bad. Super fun gameplay. That's why gameplay is king, and you can look past frame rate. But I mean, frame rate and the color depth and resolution does enhance your gameplay, but the gameplay is king. That's why I played them back to back. I played Scarlet and Violet back to back. I played Violet and then Scarlet, both like 30-hour games, and they ran like shit, but they were so fun. So it's a testament to the gameplay is king. But they are going to be way better on Switch 2. And there is a video of this on the Nintendo Today app. This thing is running 60 frames. It's got better resolution. There's less drawing. There's more Pokemon on screen. And the colors, man, they pop. I am very excited to see all of these half-assed games on the Nintendo Switch that released broken as fuck, including Legend of Zelda, Tears of Kingdom, and Breath of the Wild. I'm very excited to see what this new Switch performance and new technology will do to it. And they are kind of drip feeding us. We just got the new Zelda Echoes of Wisdom and Link's Awakening. Dude, this shit looks awesome. Not only is it running better, like the frame rate, they enhanced the frame rate IBN, but they cranked the resolution. It looks 4K. I think it is 4K. And they added HDR, which gives you way more color depth. And they just look phenomenal. So Nintendo, dude, it's the first time I've ever heard Nintendo mention the word frame rate in their patch notes. Like Nintendo never focused on this. They're saying HDR and frame rate and resolution. You got to understand, Nintendo was all about the games, and they wouldn't even say the specs of their console or what their game ran at. They're like, oh yeah, it'll run smooth. But now they're actually saying, oh yeah, the Switch 2 will increase frame rate and increase resolution. And now it supports HDR. It's crazy to hear. And I'm super excited about the Switch 2. We got a lot of Switch 2 news. But what do you think of this?
So Scarlet and Violet are definitely your kind of neck of the woods, man. Definitely, I'm excited to see what else is out there. Just today, they dropped the video for the Echoes of Wisdom enhancement. And I can't tell if it's 40 or 60, but I'm telling you, it looks 60 and it looks beautiful. Go check it out. I saw it from VGC, Video Games Chronicle. They have a YouTube video posted on that. I'm telling you, if you were on the fence, this is the kind of game that looks good. I am obviously hyped about the Switch 2. I'm getting ready to go pre-order and pick it up. But I will. But there's this thing in the back of my mind, Matt, and I can't quite scratch it out. Right, this is a Nintendo that is doing something that the last time they haven't done in quite a while, and the last time they did it, they kind of lost the fight to Sony. This comes out of the PlayStation or the SNES era. The SNES was a 16-bit system. They were in the fight with Sega. They won against Sega, but I think that's less about what's. I think that's less about Nintendo and that's more about Sega. As much as I'm probably going to get hate from people on this. I'm sorry. Sonic is not a good game from a premise. I gotta go fast. Well, you gotta go fast on a TV that was a CRT screen that was 16 inches wide. Guess what? That's not very fun, folks. But Mario running and flying and jumping on stuff, that was more entertaining because it wasn't I gotta go fast. That wasn't the premise. But I digress. The point is, Nintendo came out of that and then tried to go up against Sony, who hit them with a 32-bit system right out the gate. PlayStation 1 just came out the gate swinging. Nintendo said, whoa, 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 whoa. We need to beat these competitors into the ground. They went with power. They went with speed because cartridges had a faster load times. They were more expensive to produce, but and less storage, but they have faster load times. They're more seamless in transition. If you remember, you pop in your old cartridge, you hit power, boom, your game goes. Versus the PlayStation, where you had a loading screen and then it loaded the disc and everything else, right? Nintendo did that and skipped the 32-bit era. They went straight to the 64. Then they kept trying to compete power with power. Little do people understand is the GameCube was actually during that generational cycle technically was more powerful than PlayStation 2, but the PlayStation 2 won because of sideways thinking, because of the DVD that came included. Anytime Nintendo has won, the Game Boy, the NES, things of that, the Wii, is when they've done followed by Gunpei Yokoi's motto of sideways thinking. Sideways thinking, or in other words, taking technology that's not necessarily cutting edge and using it in unique ways that'll appeal to the mass, is when Nintendo succeeded. The Switch 2 is them trying to compete on power. The problem is you're coming out with a PlayStation 4. What this looks in the long run, I don't know. I'm still excited. The 90s fanboy Nintendo guy is still screaming inside. I want to see Link. I want to see Mario. I want to see Samus. I want to see all of those guys. And then I want to see them beat each other senseless in Smash. Will it happen? We'll see. But yeah, man, that's kind of where I'm sitting at. And I don't know about you, but I'm ready to go get this system.
Dude, me too. So that's why we call you the retro gaming encyclopedia, because that's a crazy history lesson, which is awesome. I actually agree with you. Sonic is. I played a lot of Sonic games. It's mid. Sonic's mid. It really is. Sonic 2 is the highlight, and I played a lot of Sonic 2. But yeah, I like Mario 2D better. Mario 3D is the best, honestly. Speaking of cutting edge, The Witcher 4 was shown at the State of Unreal event. This was one of the first events kicking off Summer Game Fest. This was yesterday, meaning Tuesday, June 3rd. They showed The Witcher 4, and this looks amazing. I can't believe it's running. They said it's running on a base PS5, and I honestly I can't believe that. But if they say it is, it is. And they showed some gameplay footage of Siri, basically going through a town, and they were showing off Unreal Engine uh, 5.6. We're on 5.6. So Unreal Engine 5.6 is going to be released, and they showed off some pretty cool footage of that. They showed off like the AI NPC stuff, and man, that those environments looked awesome. And dude, shout out to Unreal. They also had Claire Obscure Expedition 33. They had one of the developers come up and they said, "Hey, Unreal Engine 5, we wouldn't have created that game without Unreal Engine 5." And shout out to Epic. They're making Unreal Engine, and they're making it very fluid and accessible to these developers. And these developers are small studios, and they can get Unreal Engine 5. And I think they announced today that if you release a game, use our engine, the first $1 million of profit goes towards you, the developer. And then after that, Unreal or Epic takes a cut, which is totally fine. But that's really cool. Like, it's helping all of these indie developers make these incredible experiences. And we just played one, Claire Obscure Expedition 33, which is my game of the year and probably yours, I think. And it's just phenomenal how this engine is out there where any of these indie devs can download and utilize and use. And there's a lot of AI components to it. MetaHuman looks cool. If you're into like the technology, really cool stuff behind game development, check out this showcase. It's really cool. It's called the State of Unreal Showcase. They had it yesterday. They showed off Witcher 4. If you're excited for Witcher 4 from CD Projekt Red, they showed gameplay from that. And man, it's some of the best graphics I've ever seen in a video game. Did you watch that?
Dude, I've seen clips of it. I didn't have enough time to sit down and watch the whole thing. But the clips I saw of specifically Witcher 4 made me look at it and go. They say it's base PS5. Um, I looked at it and said, "Yeah, that's base PS5." The same way the GTA 6 trailer was base PS5. What I mean by that is when you look at the trailer for Halo 2 when that first dropped at the E3 way back in the day, it looked amazing. It ran well. It looked awesome, but it little people might not know is if you went outside of the boundaries of what they had pre-generated, the game immediately crashed because they were doing a showpiece. I think it was a showpiece. Either way, I looked at it and said, I can't believe this is real. Please keep it this way because it's going to look amazing on my PlayStation 5 Pro, on that OLED panel. Dude, what my only concern with The Witcher 4, and this is a sad thing to admit, particularly to the public out there, is I have not finished Wild Hunt. Um, I love the world of The Witcher. I played the first two. I just cannot dedicate the time to Witcher 3. It's not that I'm saying I'm not interested in it. I don't love it and I don't think it's a great, but it's kind of like Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm a JRPG guy first and foremost. I dropped 120 hours into Xenoblade Chronicles 2, okay? I know what it takes to do a dedication to games. I've put 750 hours into Civ 6, but you have to pick and choose. And at the end of the day, I don't think my inability to play it is going to hurt CD Projekt Red any, because I heard they all sold over like 60 million units of Witcher 3, The Wild Hunt, over time, which is, discounted and stuff. But still, that's Mario Kart 8 Deluxe types of numbers. So me not having the opportunity to play, it's not going to hurt them. I'm interested. As long as the window's correct and it comes out at a time that's not crowded, I'm 100% all for it. I know enough about the lore. I don't even care about the story. I just look at it and I go, my God, this is fidelity in motion. And to see it on a PlayStation console makes my heart just melt, man. This old man heart.
Yeah, dude, it's a really cool event. It goes into like the technology behind the engine and the I don't know, like the shading and everything behind game development. It's really cool. I encourage everyone to look into how games are made. And Unreal is one of the most popular engines out there. But it's really cool to see the look behind the curtain, right? You get the game, you play it, but what is behind that? And that's why I explore all the time in a game. I'm literally going around and just looking at the assets and the shading and the lighting and the way things are, rendered. I just love that the fact. I don't think I'd ever get into video game development, but I respect it and I see it, and it enhances my experience with the game. So check it out, State of Unreal. That's the event that's kicking off Summer Game Fest. That's the first event. Guess what the second event was, I believe. Let me look and see to make sure if it was the second event. It sure was the State of Play. The State of Play. So we had State of Unreal June 3rd, and the State of Play was the second event. Literally just kind of shadow dropped from PlayStation yesterday. Like, we're like, oh shit, we're getting a State of Play. I thought we were going to get a State of Play in June. I thought it was going to be after all the events, and maybe not a day before the Switch is announced. But PlayStation was like, nah, dog, we're going to fucking release the State of Play today. Or tomorrow. So tomorrow is today. They announced it yesterday, which was Tuesday, June 3rd. It was today, June 4th, literally an hour ago. And we're going to get all into this State of Play. We watched it live. And man, there were some banger announcements. Let's just get right into it, dude. They kicked off the show. If no one knows what State of Play is, it's like a little, I don't know, a little showcase E3 digital event that they do probably 5 times a year.
So the best way to describe it, if you're not entirely sure, this is the Sony's answer to the Nintendo Direct. This is them saying, here's the games that are coming to our platform. And it's not always necessarily exclusively to their platform, if you go look back, but being able to be the first one to announce some of these games, particularly with what we're going to talk about, is what makes us entertaining. Right before SGF, some of the games that were announced, we were expected to rumored. We expected them to be launched at the on Friday as part of the showcase, or later as part in the weekend as part of the developer directs. But yeah, that's what the State of Play is. It's just them coming to you and saying, "Hey, here's what we got coming." I say we get right about into it, but before we do, my thirst is parched, and you said you had a surprise for me, so I think we need to talk about this. So take it away.
Yes, indeed, I did. An empty cup has no business on the shapes of gaming stage, if you will. I brought you a beer here, and this is from Avery Brewing. I've drank things from Avery Brewing on this podcast before. Avery, of course, is in Denver, Colorado, or Boulder. Shit, I said Denver, and then I did a correction of Boulder. It's in fucking Boulder, everyone. All right, jeez. Avery is from Boulder, Colorado. This is called the Reverend, and it's a Belgian style quadruple ale. And this, I think it's going to be in your wheelhouse. There you go. You're going to drink it live on the podcast. It is one of my favorites, actually. And I don't drink this type of beer a lot. Quads, I kind of stay away from quads, but yeah, let's crack it right here.
Yeah, so yeah, absolutely. I love my darkers, the ales, the porters, the stouts, things of that nature. Summertime is not when I normally drink them, but I'm in a cool inside zone, air conditioned. The Reverend, this has a very creepy looking priest, if you will, on it. It kind of looks like something out of a horror movie or video game. The villain who's like, "Hey, you're gonna listen to me. I've got the power here." But absolutely, we're gonna take a look at this. It says it's decadent, complex, and divine. Not much else on there other than its ABV. I'm not going to talk about that on this air because that's not how we judge our beers. We judge our beers by the flavoring, the aura, the smell, the taste. Oh, yeah, this has definitely got a good full body. Oh, folks, this will kick you in the cojones, okay? This will light a firecracker in your ass. This will make you sing sing until the end of the morning, man. Looking at this, it's definitely I would only drink one, maybe two of these a night kind of a drink, or kind of a beer. But there's definitely a lot of good flavor there. What really surprises me about this one is I see this with darker beers, is they say it's and this reminds me, and I'll get to it, of oak aged, barrel aged type drinks where they're like, oh, it's old whiskey or Scotch barrels, and we used them to age our beer. So that makes them higher alcohol content, and you're going to really like it. The problem is when they do that, a lot of the time they say they leach stuff in there, but the alcohol content's so high that they end up, it overshadows, because pure spirits are very potent. So then you don't get a lot of the undertones that are in there, or if you do, it's they're, like I said, they're carried too much by the alcohol. This one has got it in there. It's a little bit of, you kind of get a little bit of fruitiness in there. It's right under there. And absolutely, definitely, this is a good beer.
Awesome. I'm glad you like it. We are beer connoisseurs in the state of Colorado, and Colorado has a lot of good beers, and we implement beers on this podcast. So, yeah, I thought you'd like that. Fun fact, I pair beers with video games, and this beer was paired with The Last Faith for me, because The Last Faith is a 2D pixel side scroller, Souls like. I know I say Souls like a lot, but it literally is a Souls like Metroidvania, and this beer paired very well with it. So, yeah, it'll kick you in the teeth. It hits hard first, but then gets smoother as you drink it. But yeah, Avery Brewing, Boulder, Colorado, the Reverend. Try it out. Drink it as you're listening to this podcast, as long as you're not driving. So, drink a beer while you're listening, and you can drink with us. We love beer. We don't really get drunk, but we just drink and game and talk video games. So we're connoisseurs of beer on this podcast. So Bob, we're literally right beside each other. We're like swinging the mic back and forth. This is a interesting, unique podcast, and the reason being is we wanted to watch the state of play in person. So we are literally like an hour from the state of play. It just happened. So let's get into what was announced. There were some surprises. There were some returning classics. There was some Just all kinds of incredible games. One I'm very excited for. I'll tell you my standout game when we get to it. But they kicked off the show, the State of Play, on June 4th. It happened at 3 p.m. MST. They kicked it off with Luminous Arise. This is a new Luminous game. So Luminous is cool. It's a little puzzle game, and they're bringing back Luminous, and it's going to be coming for the PS5 2026. Did it get a release date? I forget. Yeah, it didn't get a release date. 2025 or 2026, I believe. One of those two. I don't know. This year or next year. Luminous Arise. It's an interesting way to kick off the event. But yeah, we're just going to get into what was announced. We were literally like, I wouldn't even say on the edge of our seats, because we were like standing up, and I like jumped on the couch one time for an announcement, and we were cracking Pokemon cards at the same time, like Destined Rivals, the new set that came out, and drinking like three of my favorite things. Fucking awesome. And we're recording a podcast now. So you're getting this raw, you're getting this unfiltered, and we're going to tell you what was announced. So, dude, Romeo is a dead man. That looks cool. Do you want to get into that one?
Yeah, absolutely. I guess mostly because I called this one as soon as I saw this. I was Romeo is a dead man. Anybody that's not familiar, is you have Suda51 created his own studio, Grasshopper Studios. They've got this. I don't know. You would call it a unique series called No More Heroes. It's very animated, very art style. The main character, to get you a sense of what the kind of game it is it's a third person action game. And in No More Heroes, the main character is very much, and it's been confirmed, he is a direct inspiration of Johnny Knoxville from his Jackass days. Okay. So you've got a lot of crude humor. You've got a lot of over the top violence. So No More Heroes actually was more censored in Japan because of the disembodiment of human bodies and things of that nature, taking off limbs. That's more restricted there. Okay. Soon as I saw this, and it's very cell shaded, and it treads that line between cell shaded and just very high colors, or pops, as you will. We didn't get much on terms of what this game is about, but the second I saw it, I immediately said, wait, that's Suda51. And Suda51 in the gaming development industry is kind of he's the Japanese version of, in my mind, and I'm not saying this is correct, but in my mind, he's the Japanese version of a certain developer that just released Split Fiction this year. Where he believes he's a rock star, like an absolute I'm wearing sunglasses at night kind of rock star. We don't that I mean, he uses as a synonym for a name. He uses it or a different a persona for his name. Romeo is a dead man. It's coming out next year. I didn't play the No More Heroes games, mostly because they just never came to me, but they were something that I've always wanted to check out. Yeah, man, this has actually got my attention, because I think too much time has passed for No More Heroes. I might be able to go back to them at some point. The first one was a Wii game, for crying out loud. And I'm going to make this notion or motion as I'm trying to describe it. Like you have what do I call it? Legally distinct lightsaber that you have to charge up in the game, but you have to charge it up by shaking it up and down. But anytime he's doing it, he's crouched over, so he looks like he's jacking off. So that's the kind of humor you're looking for. Absolutely. I think with this being a new series, you've got my attention. Comic over the violence. We call it millennial humor. I'm sorry. I'm an unapologetic elder millennial, so give me all day long, man. What are you thinking? How are you feeling about this?
I love the humor. I respect it. Grasshopper manufacturer. They just released the I don't know if they did it or not, but Shadows of the Damned, a really, really good game. They released the remaster. I don't know if they were behind it, but they were the originals behind it. And Suda51 is fucking crazy. I think the last game he did was Let It Die. And very, Yeah, and very famously, he did the No More Heroes. So this kind of looks more in line of the No More Heroes. It's cell shaded. It's third person action adventure hack and slash with some crazy shit, man. And Suda 51 is they're interesting. They're an interesting dev. I'm behind it though. I like it too. I like the millennial stuff. So I'm pretty excited for this game. This game is on my radar. I want to see more of it. I want to see what it has to, what more it has to offer, and the more gameplay. I want to see more gameplay from it. Uh, but the next game I called, and the next game we saw this, like 5 years ago or some shit like that. This game is made by Capcom, and it caught my attention immediately because of the sci-fi aesthetic and the third-person gameplay. And it kind of reminds me of Dead Space, honestly. The gameplay we saw. This game is Pragmata. Pragmata. We finally got new information. This game, I think, was announced for 2025, and then they said, "Sorry, we're not done with it yet." And they were like, "We don't know when it's going to come out. Sorry." I think they said it's going to come out question mark. But we finally saw more of it. The frame rate looked a little interesting. I hope they clean that up. And it wasn't the stream because the games after it looked really clear and smooth. I have no doubt it's going to run great. It's Capcom. They've been hitting out of the park left and right. I'm very excited for this game. Pragmata looks like a third person sci-fi action adventure Dead Space with a little girl as your Navi co-pilot. It looks interesting, and I want to know more. Capcom's making it. I'm in, I think, on this game. It's on my list. It's been on my list ever since it was announced, and it looks like it's going to benefit heavily from the PS5 Pro. Hopefully, I hope that frame rate is cleaned up. But we got a launch year, and it's coming out 2026. So Pragmata looks awesome. Do you remember when this game was announced? What are your thoughts on this game?
Dude, so this has been so long that when you called it, I had a brief moment of Pragmato. What are you talking about? Like it's been that long. It's not as comically long as, let's say, ES6 or Elder Scroll 6. Um Excuse me there. But definitely you're right. There's a little bit of dead space with that third person. I could see that with sci-fi. Um but to give the audience or the listeners there a better idea, this is high sci-fi, so you have high fantasy. This is more high sci-fi. This is very, very much out there. A lot of cyber type of elements around where, hey, I'm summoning, let's say you're summoning a cybernetic sword. Well, as you're doing it, there's a bunch of cool symbols running around your arm. It's not grounded in reality. It's more high sci-fi. Is the way I put it. I don't know if there's a technical term for it, but somebody could definitely help me out there. Maybe hit us up on the Discord about that. I will say I have some concerns, obviously, with the frame rate. Um, we didn't see enough to really get a good depth into it. But I will say the voice acting on the little girl, I got to go look it up. I haven't had time. She sounds very, very, very familiar. And if it's who I think it is, we're going to have a problem. And I will next episode, I'll digress a little bit more. I'll hit you up on the side, Matt, where if she plays voices of the same character I'm thinking in a different game, I'm going to hear nothing but that. And I'm going to want to throw my head out the window or throw myself into traffic. Outside of that, you have my curiosity. Come next state of play, whatever, or Summer Games Fest, or I mean, the Game Awards at the end of the year, whatever that looks like. Let me see it. Let's see it cleaned up. Where the frame rate's crap because it was on a PS5 Pro doing fidelity, or was it a base PS5 doing fidelity, should I say, versus performance? Who knows? Either way, it looks sick. I'm all for it because I'm a dad gamer. Guess what? This is a sad dad third person gaming simulator all day long. I know it's PlayStation Studios. It didn't say outside of that, but guess what? You got my attention.
Yeah. Capcom, actually.
Oh
You have my attention there for sure. And yeah, it's kind of a sad dad simulator. Reminds me a little of Stellar Blade mixed with Dead Space, and it looks really cool. It looks when it comes to fidelity, it looks awesome. But yeah, the frame rate was a little interesting. So I hope it was maybe just the stream or the trailer pack they gave them. Who knows? But we're getting this in 2026. I was very excited for this when it launched, and Capcom's behind it. I couldn't be more excited. Now, Bob, the next game that was announced, I we literally saw it and we like jumped up and we thought this was Castlevania, right? But the more I saw it, the more I was like, okay, it's not Castlevania, but I think it is Iga. And Iga is the creator of Castlevania. And it is. It's a new Bloodstained game. We're getting a new Bloodstained game, The Scarlet Engagement. Bloodstained The Scarlet Engagement was announced for 2026. I'm a huge fan of Bloodstained. I'm a huge fan of Castlevania. Iga created Castlevania for Konami. Konami did them dirty, just like Kojima. And they both left, and they both started their own studios. And now Iga is creating another Bloodstain. This is the fourth Bloodstain game. We got Bloodstain Ritual of the Night, and then we got two prequels with one of the primary characters, Zangetsu, voiced by David Hayter, by the way. And we got Curse of the Moon and Curse of the Moon 2. Those were more 8-bit style, incredible games. If you haven't played them, incredible. But Bloodstain was special. It was my indie game of the year. I am beyond excited for this. I'm a huge Castlevania fan. The father of Castlevania made Bloodstained. We're getting a sequel, and it looks fucking awesome. The entire time I watched this, I was like, this is a new Castlevania. This is a new Castlevania. And I was like, wait a second. Hold on. This is fucking Iga. This is Bloodstained. And yeah, I called it. I couldn't be more than happy, more happier for this game. This is actually my game of the show. So what did you think of Bloodstained The Scarlet Engagement?
So absolutely, man. You're right. I immediately saw, and you can go into the trailer and you look at it, and you're in a church, and you've got these knights, and they've got their swords, and the main guy that's up there, he's got this like armor on him, and it's got this wolf heads on the shoulder. We immediately said, "Whoa, this might be a Castlevania." You got the gothic look and the vibes. I only played Curse of the Moon, or Rich. I'm sorry, Ritual of the Night. Um, I regret not having played the others just because I haven't had time. What I think I really appreciate about the Bloodstained games is not only are they the Castlevania games that we just haven't been getting lately, we've been seeing a lot of clones. The Metroidvania inspired, they come out a dime a dozen. They're kind of like a Souls like games nowadays, right? We see them a dime a dozen, but it's not often that you get the creator. And what I like to say is, and I'm gonna butcher his name. I'm so sorry. I'm way too many.
It's Koji Igarashi. So he is the father of Castlevania.
Okay. All right. So the reason I say I really appreciate this series and what it brings to it is he is the father of the series and has created a spin-off, and it is very, very good. Okay. I only say this because do you remember the game Mighty Number 9, my friend? Yes. So Mighty Number 9 was created by a studio that was led up by the creator, or rather the father. There was multiple creators, but he's recognized as the father of Mega Man. It fell on its face. It wasn't. It was okay. It was very mid. Bloodstain is the creator of the father of Castlevania, saying, "Let's just keep this going." Right. That being said, this is a long-winded way of saying I am 100% on board with this game. My only regret is the fact that I haven't played the others, and I'm sadly not sure if I'm going to get a chance. This is a 2026 time window, so maybe we get a chance, especially if it hits that mid to late time. Maybe I'll finally get a chance. But absolutely, Bloodstain. Give me more of it. The Ritual of the Night had me hooked from the beginning. Like I said, my only sad story is I didn't get a chance to play Curse of the Moon or the others, particularly since when you say David Hayter, um, I immediately, my ears perk up, man. There's only certain names in gaming, and David Hayter and Kojima are some of those that will get my attention immediately. So absolutely, let's make this happen. Let's fucking go.
Yeah. So David Hayter was the voice of Zangetsu in Ritual of the Night, and then they spun it off for an 8 or 16-bit prequel that's not voice acted. It's pretty much like Castlevania 3. So for the NES, it's really retro. It's amazing. Castlevania 3 was for the NES, right? Or was it for the SNES? Okay. Castlevania 1 or 2 was for the NES. So it's more in the lines of that. It's definitely NES era. Maybe I'll fire it up. I'll show it to you. And dude, it's a crazy callback. But dude, this was my announcement of the show, actually. Unbelievably, because there's another announcement that I'm very excited for. We both are very excited for, that I'll let you take. But yeah, dude, Bloodstained, indie game of the year. Amazing. And we are getting a sequel, and it's due out in 2026. We got a year, so can't wait for that. Incredible Metroidvania. If you haven't played Bloodstained, go check it out. Baby Steps got some new info, and we got a release window this fall. Baby Steps looks cool. It's third person. You control his legs with each thumbstick, so it's a very interesting game, and I'll play it if it's available. Maybe on PS Plus, I'll check it out. But it looks funny. The writing is very funny, and I'd say I'm a little interested in this. We've seen a lot. It's release date. Actually, it doesn't have a window. It has a date. It got September 8th. So September 8th, we're getting Baby Steps. PlayStation seems like they're behind this. This is like the third time they've showed this in a state of play. I think it looks fun and it looks good, but we'll see how it is. Now, this next announcement, holy shit! Like what? Bob, take it away.
All right. So leading up to this, there have been a lot of leaks. Let me take you back, folks. This was announced during the NVIDIA leaks, or kind of alluded to in the NVIDIA leaks back in the day. If you were a Square Enix fan, you'll know exactly what I'm already talking about. There were two games that were in the NVIDIA leaks, both heavily rumored. They've been going for the last couple of years. One of those, obviously, being the Final Fantasy IX remake slash remaster, which I could go on for about days, right? The other one was this little game called Final Fantasy Tactics. And I'm telling you, it's been heavily rumored. It was heavily rumored. I didn't want to get my hopes up. I'm just saying this out there. I'm sorry for everybody else in the draft, because I stole this back in February for $1. And I took a long shot. I had two games that were on there. This and Final Fantasy VII Remaster. I did a lot of digging afterwards, going, okay, maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe I'm just getting my hopes up. This is pie in the sky. This is never going to happen. Just like the Resident Evil 2 remake, right? And sure enough, I dropped 9, and I'm not going to shout out to the Final Fantasy Union YouTube channel and their Patreon. They kind of convinced me over the edge which one to go with, and that was Final Fantasy Tactics: The Ivalice Chronicles. Folks, if you are slightly interested in what a tactics game is, and what I mean by tactics is third person, or not third person, but it's in a 3D grid square, choose your character, you move, turn, think Baldur's Gate 3 style, but without all of the free movement afterwards. Each air part of the map is a mission. You go through the mission, you earn experience, and then when you earn experience, you level up. Well, you know what's great about this game, Matt? Is the ability to switch classes almost on the fly. And not only that, but harken back to the original Final Fantasies, you have your base classes that then can be upgraded into very even better classes. This is a not a mainline Final Fantasy game where you, for example, with 7, where you have Cloud and he's going to save save Gaia and he's going to fight Sephiroth and he's going to bring Barret. No, this is multiple different universes kind of coming together. It's its own thing, but there have been illusions. You can find Cloud, for example, in this game, right? Kind of like what you do with Kingdom Hearts, where they come together. To see this game is absolutely one of those I wish it and me, not only me, but everybody else in our group willed this game into existence. We have been asking for this. If you go look online, you can go look at the original PlayStation 1 Black Label Final Fantasy Tactics, and you are going to pay a significant amount. What's even sadder is there was a re-release onto the DS. Guess what? That game is expensive as all hell too. So the two things to take out of this for me personally is, one, the fact that I'm still coming to reality that this is actually happening. This is one of the most. This is the one of the top games that I've wanted on a remaster/remake. This is my Final Fantasy VII remake, 100%. This is that top tier. Okay, and number two, the fact that Sony, because this is a Square Enix property, the fact that Sony got to announce it 2 days before Summer Games Fest still is blowing my mind. So Square Enix could have hung on to this and launched it in 2 days on Friday as part of the Jeff Keighley Considiata kind of show, right? This would have been a great opportunity for it. This is from the mid 90s. Just keep that in mind. But if you are, I'm telling you, if you are someone interested in Final Fantasy or you're not sure, this is a game you will sink 80 hours into and time will go by and you won't even realize it. Folks, Final Fantasy Tactics, The Evilise Chronicles, and you know what's the best part, Matt? I said not only is this game going to come, it's going to come out in 2025, and we are getting it in October 29th, I want to say, is when it's coming. Oh, September. Oh, I'm telling you, man, the only regret I have with this is that the fall's already looking very, very crowded. I don't care. I will still, as soon as pre-orders go live, which should go live today, I will be going ahead and putting a pre-order on this. I will be getting it squared up within the next couple of weeks because this game, even if I don't play it day one, will be a day one purchase for me. This is 100%, I mean 1,000% my game of the show. So how are you feeling about this one, man?
I love Final Fantasy Tactics. I played it for PS1. There was also an offshoot on the Game Boy Advance, Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced, if you remember that one. I played the shit out of that one too. I put hundreds of hours into that one. I'm very excited for this. This is a incredible announcement. I do wish it was a remake, and I do wish it was in the 2D HD engine, but that's okay. I'm 100% behind this. I'm gonna pre-order it. You should check Best Buy right now and see if it's on for pre-order. We're literally about to go to Best Buy, so to get the Switch 2. But yeah, oh my God, Final Fantasy Tactics, incredible tactics game. Very excited for this. There was a bit of a lead up on this for this event that they were going to announce this, and I was like, oh shit, this is actually going to happen, and it did. Square Enix, the logo came up on the screen, and we literally jumped up and we were like fucking jumping up and down, and it was announced. I still kind of can't believe it. Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles. So coming out in September this year. You have this in the draft. I'd say you're probably going to get high 80s easily on this one. Might even, I don't know if it'll crack 90s. The original got 88. This is a incredible pickup. This game is going to be awesome. Very excited for it. Not coming out in a great time in September, but at least it's not coming out in August. So couldn't be more excited for this game. It's my second game of the show. If it wasn't for Bloodstained, because I'm such a huge Metroidvania fan. And Iga's literally the father of Metroidvanias, kind of. It's literally it's in the name. So Metroid is a combination of, or Metroidvania is a combination of Metroid and Castlevania. And Koji Igarashi is the father of Castlevania, and he basically created Metroidvanias. So very excited for that. But yeah, tactics, dude. We were waiting on this for a while. And what gets me really excited is this was in the leak along with Final Fantasy IX Remake. We're fucking getting Final Fantasy IX Remake. Final Fantasy IX is one of the top 3 Final Fantasies for me. My boy Zidane, dude, we are getting Final Fantasy IX Remake. It's just a matter of time. It might be announced at Summer Game Fest this year. Who knows? Maybe even the Game Awards this winter, but probably next year. Dude, these NVIDIA leaks keep coming true, and it's just solidifying that we're getting Final Fantasy IX Remake. But Tactics Remastered, the Ivalice Chronicles, shit, it's going to be awesome. Yeah, dude, Final Fantasy IX is one of the best. Like, it's turn based and follows Zidane, and dude, Final Fantasy IX is incredible. The cutscenes, it has one of the best cutscenes in gaming. I don't want to spoil 9 because it's going to get remade, but let's just say specific summons have a big old fight. Let's just say that multiple times, actually. So originally for the PS1, on the heels of 8 in the PS1 era, and it was the multi-disc. Dude, 9 was incredible. I actually, if 9 gets remade, I'll do the same as what I'm doing with Final Fantasy 7, and I'll go back and play the original 9 and then go play 9 Remake. They'll probably do it in parts, but yeah, the Tactics announcement, holy shit. I'm extremely excited for this. I know you are.
I will say as a one last before we move on, because I definitely want to touch some of these other games. But Final Fantasy Tactics Remaster was willed, or Ivalice Chronicles. They're not officially calling a remaster, right? So I want to specify that there's the upgraded edition or the more fidelity looking version, and then you can roll back, kind of like what they did with multiple. It's become a newer trend, but most recently what I played, which was the Red Alert Command and Conquer remaster series, where with the press of a button you can switch between 2 different graphical interfaces. I don't know if that's going to be the case. My point is this: if the Ivalice Chronicles, if Tactics Remastered Ivalice shows up, that gives me hope for some of the other things that have been willing to win existence, particularly with Summer Games Fest. Please let me see Master Chief show up on a PlayStation console. I am putting this out there because this episode will go live right before Summer SGF. The gaming gods, please give me Master Chief on a Sony so I can be happy. I could probably die a happy man at that point.
We'll get it at the we might potentially probably get it at the Xbox showcase, and it'll come out as a Halo 1 remake or maybe even a remaster, and they won't make a big deal that it's coming to PS5, but you'll see the PS5 logo there. What do you think?
All right, so as a side on this, I have to give a shout out to a listener on this show, Mickey D. Man, he gave me the best idea in the world for this. Xbox needs to come out on I think Sunday is their show. They need to come out and they say they're doing a Halo Combat Evolved, but it's going to be Halo Combat Evolved or Combat Re-Evolved, and do as a remaster. As soon as I heard that, I was in love, and I said, I almost saw it on the screen that said, "Let's fucking go." So I just wanted to put that out there. Good call, man. I hope they do call it that when it eventually comes.
Nice. Love it. Shout out to one of our community members. We love it. Combat Re-Evolved. Halo I like it. I like it. Yeah. We're gonna watch that in person too. We're gonna watch Summer Game Fest showcase in person. We're watching all these events in person. We both took work off because we're insane and we fucking love video games that much, and we're probably gonna be playing our Switch 2s, honestly. Yeah, Halo Combat Re-Evolved. Dude, that sounds right. Yeah, if it happens, I think, I don't know, it might be on Keely's show, but I think it'll be in the Xbox showcase. Yeah, dude, Tactics coming out. Holy shit. What the fuck? What are you doing? What are you doing, PlayStation? The next one we got was, you called this actually, Digimon Story Time Stranger is coming out October 3rd, 2025. This is a Digimon game. It's been years since we saw a Digimon game. It's this looks really cool. I don't know if I'm into it. I want to see more how it plays, like the the day to day stuff or the combat, how it flows. Honestly, I want to know more about this game. I want to know more about this game. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, so Digimon, I'm gonna be honest, Matt. I could give a fuck about what's going on in Digimon. I ain't got the slightest clue. All right, um, Digimon is if if anybody knows what I'm talking about on an old movie references, I'm a movie reference guy. Digimon is kind of like the GoBots for Pokemon. What I mean is it's the guy that was trying to compete against Pokemon. All right, or the main thing at the time. In this case, specifically Pokemon. Digimon's good and it's got staying power. Okay, I know the theme better probably for Digimon than I do Pokemon, or just as much. At the end of the day, the thing that really made me sad is when you look at the trailer, if you take the Digimon stuff out of there and take that branding out of there, I see a very, very, very good, strong video game overall. That's how I knew what it was right away because I have been thirst trapped on this game several times, or this trailer, should I say, several times. So as soon as I know it, I see, oh, wait, that's not a SMT or Shin Megami Tensei. That's not a whatever, right? That's Digimon. I know that one. I need to set it to the side. Not saying anything bad about this game, and if you're interested, absolutely, I think it looks good. Unfortunately, it's Digimon, and I just can't get into it. I can't get into Pokemon playing, so there's no way in hell I'm going to get into Digimon. Let's just leave it like that.
See, I love Pokemon, and that's why I never got into Digimon. I watched the anime as a kid, but I never got into Digimon. Here's what we're going to do for this one. It's been years since we saw an entry in Digimon Story series, and now it's returning with Digimon Story Time Stranger on October 3rd, 2025. The game's description tells an epic story that unravels the mystery of the world's collapse as you carry out turn-based battles with a variety of Digimon collected throughout the game. Turn-based, that actually sounds good. It's a turn-based Digimon game, so check it out. Yeah, right. So is Pokemon. Yeah, I'm a big Pokemon fan. Never got into the Digimon games. Watched the anime as a kid, of course. The Digimon cartoons on Cartoon Network. So that's about what I know about Digimon. Never played the games, but if you're excited for Digimon, you're getting a new Digimon story, Time Stranger, October 3rd, 2025. So that's a new Digimon game. What else? Oh, ooh, we both called this one. I think I called it like a second before you. Silent Hill F. We got Silent Hill F gameplay. They showed a lot of gameplay. I'm very excited for this game. It looks like it's Silent Hill, and Silent Hill is one of, if not the best. Well, Resident Evil is. I like Resident Evil better. Survival horror games. My favorite survival horror is Dead Space. But it's like up there. Silent Hill is an amazing IP, originally made from Konami, and they're making Silent Hill F. It follows a new protagonist, and it's in a new area, and we saw a lot of fog. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't watch a lot of this because I am kind of trying to stay dark on this because I'm very excited and I'm getting it day one because I love Silent Hill. I just played Silent Hill 2 Remake, and I am very excited for this game. What I saw, the glances of gameplay that I saw, it's pretty and it runs very well and it looks very scary. And I am very excited to play it. It's third person survival horror, Silent Hill F. And we got a release date for this. Guess what? This is going to be a big old clash on the draft between probably you and Admiral Merps. It is launching September 25th. This year, you're going to draft this, aren't you?
If I get an opportunity, this is probably one of those that will end up being on my list. What's really interesting about Silent Hill is I used to when in the events of survival horror games when they were first becoming big, you had some spin-offs like Dino Crisis, which is amazing. Don't get me wrong. I'm talking early PS1. You had Resident Evil and you had Silent Hill. They both tackled silent, or I mean, I'm sorry, they tackled the survival horror from different aspects. Resident Evil did have scariness, but it also had the survival, less horror, right? Silent Hill gave us the horror aspect. It was all about the vibes. It was all about the ambiance and the scariness. I used to play them very well. I loved them, absolutely loved them. Silent Hill 2 is, for me, is the pinnacle of the Silent Hill series, just like Resident Evil 2 is the pinnacle of the Resident Evil series, and Resident Evil 2 is my favorite survival horror game of all time. Meet me out in the parking lot if you want to fight about that. Um, the problem with Silent Hill, and this is not a problem of the games, this is a problem of me. I tried to play the 2 remake, and I get through it every now and then. But at my age and what I've gone through and where I'm at in my life, I get to a certain point and my anxiety ramps up so much that I need to go outside and smoke a cigarette. Like I'm ready to, I'm look, I look, I feel like, what's that meme with the, from Key and Peele where he's got the sweat coming down his face. I'm that kind of guy. Okay. Silent Hill F is, at the end of the day, more Silent Hill. In fact, it is Silent Hill in Japan, from what I can tell, what we can see. That's all most people see when they see major Western, or Western based style games. Think of like Assassin's Creed, Silent Hill, things. They say, "Hey, can we get this in Japan?" Guess what? We have it now. September 25th. It might be a day one purchase for me. It's kind of a crowded window. Either way, I will end up eventually playing this, and I will make sure I take a bunch of meds, because, or smoke a big bowl or something, or drink beer, because this game I cannot play at my normal functioning level. I will end up in the corner crying like a little girl the entire time.
Dang. I love survival horror games. I played Silent Hill 2 on mic with the comments up. So I don't really get scared in games. Dead Space 2 didn't scare me. I mean, there's some jump scares, but I'll prove it to you. I'll stream this game on camera so you can all see. I don't know. The games just don't scare me. I love the atmosphere. I love the writing. It's so psychological, and I'm very excited to see what F does for the series and how it connects to Silent Hill. I have my eye on this, and well, I don't even have my eye on it. I'm going to pre-order it, and it comes out September 25th. It comes out this year. So if you're a fan of Silent Hill, if you're a fan of survival horror, Silent Hill F, September 25th. We got a VR game. I don't really have a VR. I tried PlayStation VR. There was like 8 cables that came with it, and it was a process to set up, and I ended up returning it 2 weeks later. Very cool technology. If you haven't experienced VR, I highly recommend it. I know I played Farpoint, and I fought this like spider monster, and on the screen it looks like it's like, I don't know, 2 feet, but when you're in VR, it looks like the size of a building. It really does trick your brain into thinking you are there. So if you haven't played VR, check it out. Thief got released or announced for VR. It's coming out. Do we get a release date or a release window? Nope, not really. But Thief Legacy of Shadow, we got a reveal trailer for it. This looks cool. I'm not going to play it because I don't have the system. It's for PSVR 2. PSVR 2 is pretty awesome. I also tried out PSVR at one of the PSXs. I believe it was PSX 2016 or 2015. I played Rigs, and it was really cool. Like, VR is awesome. I was playing London Heist, and I was shooting out of a door, and I went to lean on a car door that wasn't there, and the guy had to catch me or I would have fell. It really does trick your brain. If you haven't tried VR, there's Oculus, there's MetaQuest. I think PSVR does it the best, and PSVR 2 has a lot of really cool technology. Try it out if you can. I don't know if I'd recommend to buy. I will be 100% in on maybe the 10th revision, when you can just grab your sunglasses and put them on and it's VR. Like you're going into the Oasis from, what is the game? Oh, Jesus. The what is it called? I don't know. It's the VR game. Um, Man, it's escaping me right now. But you're going into the Oasis. And Ready Player One. Shit.
Oh,
Yeah. Ready Player One. That sucked. Uh, Ready Player One is an awesome movie, awesome book, and that's what I want. I want the VR sunglasses that you throw on, or maybe even goggles, not fucking scuba gear like we have on this PSVR 2. But if you have a chance to check it out, if you can try it, check it out. VR is awesome, and Thief is getting released for PSVR 2. No window at all. The next announcement you were pretty excited for.
Yeah. So this is an interesting one. This is coming from Digital Eclipse. They decided, I don't know how this came to. Um, but they got together with all of the different IP holders and said, "Hey, it'd be really cool. There are you remember the Cowabunga collection, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Cowabunga collection that came out, included all the cool arcade beat 'em ups, and ended up on PS Plus. I hope you grabbed it because if not, you're missing out on the one of the very few opportunities to play Turtles in time. I digress. The point is, they say, hey, we're seeing these collections. It's easy. Just take the game, you port it over, you put it in a collection, kind of like what Rare or Microsoft did with the Rare Replay. You print money, and they came out with the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. From what I saw in the trailer, not only are we talking about all of the main platform games, Mortal Kombat 1, 2, 3, Ultimate, all of those. We're talking about the portable or like Game Boy editions as well, to include the ability to play online. So they're resurrecting old network code to be able to make this work, which shows that they have a passion for this. Um, when it comes to fighting games, there are only a few handful of them that really got my attention. Bloody Roar is one of them. I think Primal Fury is probably the top tier true, and I mean by fighting game, not Smash Brothers Arena. I'm talking true 2D playing.
Soul Calibur 2.
Yeah, you can keep those Soul Calibers. I'm sorry. Bloody Roar, and then absolutely Mortal Kombat. And they've got the Mortal Kombat collection here. What's even more cool is if you were one of those really cool kids with the rich parents back in the day, after this announcement trailer, they Sony said, "Hey, we've got a new piece of hardware for you. You might be interested in this." And I think that this was intentional timing. Um that is the arcade style fight stick. If you're not familiar, think of a big arcade machine where you've got the flat surface in front of you, and then you've got a joystick that you can move from 8 axis all around. It's probably 16 at this point in the modern era, or even more, with big buttons that say low punch, high punch, low kick, high kick, things of that nature. They announced this right afterwards. I did not see a release date, nor did I see a price associated with this, but you can go look it up on Sony's website. Um, their fight stick, it looks like it's just pure Bluetooth, just like with anything else. Plug it in. Um, so the fighting collection, I might go into this. I'm interested simply because of Mortal Kombat 3 Ultimate. I think that's top tier of the Mortal Kombat series. I spent, I don't know how many times as a 9-year-old kid trying to learn the combos. I mastered the whatever 12 or 14 hit combo that Sub-Zero had, based off of a guide. It took me hours on end. So you 100% have my attention. I'm looking forward to this later I think they said it's later this year as well. I wouldn't get the fight. I'm not going to get the fight stick, but if you're into that community, I absolutely encourage it. It looks pretty slick. I just hope that they come out with a Midnight Black edition, just like they've done with all their other accessories, because I think it looked really slick. If you don't mind, I know what's coming up next, my friend, and I'm going to take this one from Matt. So you're going to get to hear me a little bit longer. Anybody out there listening who knows me on an individual level and a personal level knows that not only do I love video games, I'm not necessarily a moviegoer, but there is one movie series out there, Matt, that absolutely has my attention every time. I've seen every one of them no less than 3 times. There's one in particular that I know so well, I can memorize or I can speak every line. I know every line in that movie from the beginning to the end. Okay. And that's our boy James Bond 007 himself. This has been teased several times over the last couple of years. So when this game that I'm going to talk about was first kind of uh, given a bit of a, hey, it's going to be talked about at E3, or not E3, wow, Summer Games Fest. I said, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it, just like I did with Final Fantasy Tactics. This is my second game. This game, seeing this trailer had me literally jumping up and down and screaming like a little kid again. That's 007's James Bond First Light. This is a origin story kind of game. This is before he got the suit and he got the martinis, which of course we might see, right? This game is not your golden eye. This is not your whatever thing you grew up on. This feels like Uncharted had a baby with James Bond, and IO Interactive gave it to us. This is a day one. I'm not gonna lie to you. This might be it's 2026 release date. This might be a day one collector's edition purchase for me. Uh, if it was not for Final Fantasy Tactics, this would have been my game of the show. It looks amazing. It looks good in terms of what the movies can't do right now, which is capture what Bond is really about, which is gritty, which has got a little bit of gritty combat, a little bit of spy thriller in place, but keeping the, we don't care about the politics. We don't care about what's going. We don't want your emotions in there. Okay, some James Bond movies, in defense, are good when it comes to emotions, but the best Bond movies are the ones that are just pure fun. And I look at this game and I say, wow, this looks like it'll be a 40 whatever hours, whatever it looks like, however big, looks like it'll be fun. We're not going to tie it to the original. We're only going to tie it to the original IP by the name. We're not doing likeness. We're not doing any of that BS. We are going to 100% just make something our own. And the fact they got it, they put it in Uncharted, which is some of the best IP of all time, and put it in that vibe. And then they said, hey, it's coming out in 2026. Somebody's probably going to meet me outside of the parking lot because this is probably a number one draft for me next year. This game, 100%, I'm in. I will get a collector's edition day one. Dude, I'm so excited. I can't even stop talking about this. So I'm going to let you follow it up.
Dude, it's made by IO Interactive too, which is absolutely incredible. And I can't believe they had this in the announcement. I can't believe they had this in the show, because IO is doing their own showcase, and this was the first gameplay we've ever seen, and the State of Play had it. I figured they would show that in the IO Interactive showcase we're getting for Summer Game Fest. So very interesting strategy they have. I was super excited to see it. I really couldn't believe they showed it. But yeah, dude, I'm a huge James Bond fan too. Love the movies, love the old games, and this kind of looks like a origin story with a original Bond, which is very exciting. And yeah, James Bond First Light, 007 First Light, uh, coming in 2026. Very excited. I was saying the entire event, I was like, dude, this looks like Uncharted. And I couldn't be more excited for a James Bond Uncharted esque style game. I just actually watched Mission Impossible Final Reckoning, and Ethan Hunt reminds me also of Nathan Drake and James Bond, and they all kind of correlate. So I think this is going to be an incredible game. It looks a lot like Uncharted, has some definite Uncharted vibes, and I think it's going to be great. And what got me even more excited is they kind of alluded that this is the first game in a series. So we might be getting the first game of a trilogy. And if you look at all the Bond movies, there's not a standalone for the same Bond. There's like 3 or 4 movies. You got Pierce Brosnan, you got the original man, what's his name? I forget.
All right, folks. So it was Pierce Brosnan. Yeah, Sean Connery started off by and then followed up by George Lazenby, followed by Sean Connery, followed by Roger Moore. Yes. So do you want me to keep going?
No. Pierce Brosnan, and then the other one, the one we just got with Skyfall. Nope. And well, no, we got Skyfall and Casino Royale. Daniel Craig. Jesus, I can't think of my names right now. I am drinking this fruit by the ounce sour ale, so that might be impeding my recollection ability. But yeah, First Light looks amazing. You got real excited for this one. You were jumping up and down. I'm very excited for this one. IO Interactive. It's like a developer marriage in heaven. Like IO Interactive, the makers of Hitman, making a James Bond game. And with the gameplay of Uncharted, count me the fuck in, dude. I'm going to get this day one, pre-order it immediately when it's available. Very excited for this game. And then, another one that was announced, well, not announced, but they showed a little bit of gameplay, kind of a tease for another standalone event, which I'm not surprised they were going to do. But we got more, kind of more of Ghosts of Yote. They showed the wolf. They showed the main protagonist. And yeah, they didn't really show a lot. It was kind of like a tease to, hey, we're going to show more. And then they even cut into the announcement after it. And we're like, oh, nope, we're going to show more at a new event. So I probably won't watch this Ghost event because I'm sold day one. I already have it fucking pre-ordered at Best Buy. I was a huge fan of Ghost of Tsushima and couldn't be more excited for Ghost of Yote. So I'm in. They showed more of the wolf companion. It's looking more and more like you have a wolf companion, and you'll be able to trigger the attacks, kind of like Final Fantasy 16. And our boy Torgal is. We're gonna have a wolf companion in Ghosts of Yote, and I'm a big fan of wolves. Literally, one of my handles is Digital Wolf, and yeah, this game looks awesome. I don't really want to see any more. I'm not going to watch it. I watched the last trailer and I wish I hadn't. But yeah, we're going to get a standalone event for this coming in July, actually. A deeper look at the gameplay coming in July. Ghost of Yote. And following the heels of Ghost of Tsushima, which released in 2020, which was my game of the year. So more Ghost from Sucker Punch. And I couldn't be more excited for that. So the next one was a weird one, man. I thought I had this. I thought I called it. We're getting a 2D cell shaded fighting game. The name Marvel Token Fighting Souls. Dude, I thought this was Marvel vs. Capcom. It looked like Marvel vs. Capcom. I was waiting for Dante or Leon to show up. But yeah, I guess so. PlayStation is partnering with Arc System Works and creating Marvel Token. I don't know what the name is. I'm going to look up the pronunciation while we talk more about it. Marvel Token Fighting Souls. The developers of Guilty Gear, Arc System Works, was legends in the 2D fighting space. And PlayStation's trying to get into are in the 2D fighting space more prominently because they bought the Evo, the gaming tournament series, and they're partnering with Arc System Works to give us a Marvel Token Fighting Souls 2D fighting game. What do you think of this game? I thought it was Marvel Capcom. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. So first off, I still don't believe that this is not a Marvel versus Capcom game. For anybody that hasn't seen it, I believe it's Tokan or Takon. We want to call it Token, but Tolkien in my eyes needs an L. But you know, you're Lord of the Rings fans, you'll know what I know. saying. My point is, this is a 2D cell or 2D shaded kind of side scrolling beat 'em up action fighter. The thing you remember, these are not ultra violent games. This is not the we decided to do the DC game that they did back in the day, or a Mortal Kombat or something of that nature. Think of them, the Injustice. That's it. Think more of like a Soul Calibur, where you've got a lot of good, cool moves, but you're not going to see disembodied heads. You're not going to see limbs falling off. This is very cartoony in that regards. Anime is the very way I can put it. Right now, they've only showed a couple of characters that are fighting. All Marvel. You've got your staples. You've got your Spider-Man. You got your Captain America. But then they throw in some other good stuff that I think is very interesting to include. Fantastic Four recently had that movie that came out a couple years ago. So throw Doctor Doom in there. I think looks good. Ghost Rider, which is a good call out and call back. And I will fight anybody that in the comments that doesn't agree with me. Ghost Rider was a good movie. I absolutely loved that movie. I thought it was really good. It was just highly underrated. And then most surprisingly, and this is the thing that makes me interested, is when you look at Sony owning Spider-Man and then you look at Disney owning the Marvel, there's another person in this mix that up until recently had a segment, and that was the X-Men itself. So we got to see Storm. And I kept telling you, Matt, when I was looking at this character model, I'm not a gooner, but if I was a gooner, this is kind of my kind of character model. Okay. Um, what I saw this says high paced, fast action, 4v4 tag team combat. That might even be what they put in the description. Absolutely 100% interested. I just I don't know if I'm going to have a chance to play it. If I get a chance, it might be because somebody has just like back in the day, somebody has a copy. We're drinking a bunch of beers anyways, and somebody says, "Hey, let's play some Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls." Sure, let's do it. And I fire up Spider-Man as the new guy in the ringer and beat somebody's ass. And then everybody's like, "Oh man, you play these forever," and I'm like, "No." So that's where I'm kind of at. I'm interested, and I really hope for the best, especially since, like you said, with Evo being purchased by Sony. So I hope for the best. If you're into this kind of stuff, I know a few out there. Definitely, if you're a Marvel versus Capcom fan, absolutely go check it out. I know I was. I probably put hundreds of dollars into the arcade machine.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of 2D fighting games. I gotta admit, I played some classics back then. I played Bloody Roar, Soul Calibur 2. I would even consider Smash Brothers to be a 2D fighting game. I think it is. It's a little more deviating. It's 2D and you're fighting against each other.
It's an arena fighter.
It's arena fighter. So yeah, I've maybe played two of these types of games. So yeah, Tokon, Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls looks really cool. I could have swore it was Marvel vs. Capcom, especially when they paused the event and they were like, oh, and I thought they were going to start showing Capcom characters. I still think it's Marvel vs. Capcom, and I think they're throwing us for a loop, but maybe not. Who knows? It's got a 2026 launch window, and it's ready to take advantage of that new fight stick. So PlayStation's getting into the 2D fighting realm more and more. So they're really banking on that, and this closed the show, but there was another announcement in the show between this, and we're getting Astrobot stuff. We got some Astrobot DLC, free DLC. It's going to be more levels. I played Astrobot, platinumed it, played all the DLC, got that 100% trophy list. The levels were interesting and very hard. We're getting more of that, and more Astrobot. I can't ask for any more, especially if it's free. I'd love to see Square Enix characters come to Astrobot, but I would pay for that. I would pay to have a little cloud bot. They showed the Ghost of Tsushima protagonist as a bot, and then they said yeah, you have more, but we're not going to spoil it. I'm glad they didn't. I didn't want them to show any more bots, but we're getting new levels in Astrobot. We're getting 5 new levels, and yeah, we get the bot Atsu at Atsu from Ghost of Yotai. I don't know her fucking name. I haven't played the game. I haven't heard it pronounced. And yeah, there's going to be even more bots to find. This is coming out pretty soon, July 10th. So we're getting new Astrobot levels July 10th. But yeah, what do this state of play was cool. I liked it. I thought it was a great state of play. I thought it had a lot of variety. Bloodstained was a huge, huge reveal for me, and I couldn't be more excited for that. We had Final Fantasy Tactics. I still can't believe they showed 007 right before the IOI showcase. I can't believe they showed that. This fighting game, Tokon Fighting Souls, looks cool. Not into it. It looked like Marvel vs. Capcom. Uh, dude, Sword of the Sea, that was announced too. And we got a release date for that. Sword of the Sea is a I don't know, third person adventure from the makers and artists and some of the devs from Journey, The Pathless, Abzu, all the greats. If you haven't played Journey or The Pathless, what are you doing? Journey is one of the best games. You can finish it in 3 hours. It'll make you cry 17 times. It's an incredible game. Go play it. But we got a release date for Sword of the Sea as well. And we got a new trailer. Couldn't be more excited for that. So what do you think of the state of play? What were your thoughts?
So here's where I'm at, man. I'm still processing all of this. Recently, state of plays, and this is why I was particularly before the Summer Games Fest and the Switch, the midnight launch or the midnight launch of the Switch. I'm not saying I'm down on them, but I keep my expectations in check. We get one, maybe two kind of things that we can choose and bite at. And then it's a lot of what I call filler. And I'm not saying this in a bad way, but what I'm saying is it's a MiHoYo update. It's another anime game, and I'm not trying to say this in a condescending way, but it's games that aren't necessarily for me. They're not games that are for the people that grew up in my generation, quite frankly. Okay, I know people who play MiHoYo. I know people who play Genshin. I played Genshin Impact for a little bit. Okay, but I'm not trying to say that in a mean way. But what I'm saying is they aren't necessarily for the gamers, the hardcore people. And I'm not talking about just the people that see something and they don't like it and they call it the worst thing ever. I'm talking about those who truly engage with the medium itself. Um, to now see some of the games that I've been asking for a long time. I've been wanting a return to Bond in a very unique way. Not necessarily first person shooter, but I'm wanting something that's coming. I've been asking for some classic Final Fantasy to come back. That Square Enix, please throw me a bone. They're not giving me an 8 remake. They're not giving me 9 remat. They're giving me Tactics remastered. And as far as I'm concerned, that's good enough. We see Ghost of Yote, first party studio stuff that's coming out there. We see Astrobot DLC, which is free DLC supported by my game of the year. Astrobot was the game as soon as I played it. I immediately said, this is my game of the year. I still think of Astrobot, and then I get the song stuck on my head and I start smiling. Like, that's how much joy the game brings to me. This, quite frankly, is probably the best state of play that Sony's had in the last 2 years, give or take. I know we've had some good ones with the Death Stranding reveal. On the beach looks amazing, but I'm talking about beat to beat to beat to beat. I mean, hell, if I had time, I'd play the Digimon game simply because the aesthetics look good. Okay, this is a 9 to almost 10 out of 10 state of play. There are a couple of things that I could ask for more, but that's if I was being greedy. I have enough here to look at this plus what the current game release is and go, holy crap, how am I going to make enough time for all of this? This is absolutely a chef's kiss of state of play. You know what my only regret is, Matt? Is the fact that we had an entire thing to talk about of what we're going to be playing. We wanted to talk about the Switch 2 launch, which is in a few hours. And we've been running for what, 2 hour and 53 minutes right now, almost an hour and 54. And that's just recording time. We haven't even touched that stuff. So almost a 10 out of 10. I'd give this a 9 if I'm going to be honest. State of play. I have so much more to say, particularly about what I'm playing. Give you a little bit of an insight. It is, quite frankly, Claire Expedition. I think I'm almost done. Highlights. I'm almost done. Outside of that, I got a lot to say, and I think that's probably due for maybe a spoiler cast. What do you think there, Matt?
Yes, sir. We're gonna do a Claire Obscure spoiler cast. Uh, Launching soon. Let's just say that soon. We're going to do a Claire Obscure spoiler cast, get all into it. You finished it. I finished it. We're going to have some special guests on, which is cool. And they are big fans of turn based RPGs that we have been talking about, Claire Obscure, the whole time we've been playing it. So that's going to be fun. It's going to be crazy. And yeah, it'll be our second spoiler cast we've done. As for the state of play, I couldn't agree with you more. I think it was a great state of play. I would probably grade it A minus. I would say it was banger after banger. And yeah, there were some slumps in there, stuff I'm not interested in, but it was mainly for the gamers. We didn't get a lot of first party stuff, and that's okay. But man, we already got so many games to play this year, and they're just stacking up. Like this September, I told you a lot is going to be announced for September and October, and this is just the fucking start, dude. We haven't even had the Summer Game Fest showcase or the Xbox showcase. We're eating good this year, and we're only halfway through it. So the second part of the year is stacking up. That state of play was great. I loved it. You loved it. We got excited on many things. Some crazy reveals on stuff that I didn't even expect. So very cool. And yeah, we wanted to talk more about the Switch 2, but oh well. We're about to go get the Switch 2. And I've been playing Sea of Stars, Throes of the Watchmaker. It's really good. Pixel art, turn based. It's more of the same, and a very puzzle heavy game. Very puzzle heavy DLC. This is free, so we've been recommending Sea of Stars for a while, and you should go play the DLC. It's free. Some of the best pixel art I've ever played, and it's really cool. But man, we knew that these episodes would be very news heavy going into this season. So the next episode is probably just going to be all news too, because we have the fucking Summer Game Fest and the Xbox Showcase to cover. So we're going to bring you the news, and we just got done with the state of play. We're about to go pick up our Nintendo Switch 2 at Best Buy. Maybe go get Torchy's before Torchy's Tacos. Shout out, they're some damn good tacos. So yeah, that's been episode 6. We didn't really get into a main topic. We just had a lot to cover on State of Play. We got to go wait in line at Best Buy for our Switch 2 pre-order so we can maybe get some accessories on the table. But it's been our first episode we've done in person, swinging the mic back and forth, just drinking, having a good time, talking games. Most importantly, we want to hear your thoughts about the State of Play. What did you think? Tell us in the Discord, write us, email us, text us. I don't give a fuck. Do whatever you want, but let us know what you thought. Let us know what your games of the event were, and we want to hear from you. So join the Discord. If you're on the Discord, hit us up, and yeah, we want to hear what your excitement is, and we're just excited about games. We're excited to be here. We're excited to talk, and man, this is the season of the game announcements. So other than that, man, this has been episode 6, and what do you think?
So I will give you a couple last minute thoughts here. If you need to know where the Discord server link is, I will be reposting it to the socials, particularly to X/Twitter. I call it Twitter still, and Facebook. There are the pages out there, Shapes of Gaming. You will see the link. It is an open invitation. Please come check it out. I will be creating a channel this weekend about the state of play, as well as we'll be doing some Summer Game Fest. We will get those posted up there. Please come have a conversation about this, because as much as I like chatting about it and I love love drinking beer and I love chatting with my good friend here, Matt. I also love talking to the community. I love getting to know about what you're interested in, even if it's not something I'm interested. And most importantly, without notice, remember, it doesn't matter what you're playing, as long as you play and you talk about it. Y'all have a good one, and we'll see you on episode 7.
Shapes of Gaming is a podcast shaped around gaming and, most importantly, our community. That's you. It is written, created, and recorded in beautiful Colorado Springs, Colorado, by me, Matt Stenson, and my good friend Bob Harriman. If you would like to be part of this amazing community, be sure to like, subscribe, or follow us on all the social media platforms or the podcast app of your choice. Thanks so much for listening, and always remember, keep the conversation going, and most importantly, keep gaming.